Hey, what's up, my Gemini friends? This is your monthly forecast for September 2016. Thank you so much for joining me. Before we get started, I just want to remind you guys very briefly that this is a very generalized horoscope for people born under the sun, moon, or rising/ascendant sign in the sign of Gemini. But remember that you are made of more than just one sign. I mean, you may know that you were born in May or June and that your sun sign is Gemini, but what about the rest of your chart? If you know what your moon sign is or your rising sign, which is obtained by going to a link that I have down below to where you can get your birth chart, and you need to know your time of birth to know your rising sign. And then also your moon sign. If you know what those are, then you should also watch the monthly horoscopes for those as well, because they will be able to tell you a little bit more of the story, paint the picture a little bit more brighter as far as how your month is going to go. And also, if you pull up your birth chart and you don't really know the meanings of all those symbols and hieroglyphics in the chart, well, myself as an astrologer, that's my job, is to decipher those, is to decode those symbols and let you know what they mean for you personally. So if you would like a reading, a personal reading, I would love to give you one. All the information is down below in the description box to where you can place an order for a reading with myself. All right, now on to your September forecast, Gemini. This month, the biggest focuses for you, the biggest areas of focus are going to be on your children, if you have children. Having fun, like casual romantic, like butterflies in the stomach, honeymoon type of romance. Also, your home and family life have some big changes, and also your career is highlighted as well. So let's go through the energies in detail of the planetary activity to explain why this is. Wherever the sun is transiting, it makes things a lot more clearer and brighter for you, which is what the physical sun does in the sky for us too. So the sun is in Virgo for the first 22 days of September. For you guys, this is your fourth house, which is home and family life. So you may have a lot of things to take care of within the family, a little bit more than usual, some extra duties at home, things that need to be fixed. The kids may need more of your attention. Maybe you have a family member, whether a very close one or maybe an elderly one, there's going to need your extra help, help and care from you. You may be moving or looking to move or looking to sell a home or buy a home. Those are just some things that can be possible focuses for you with the sun in this position. For the majority of the month, up until the 22nd as well, Mercury is going to be retrograde. Now, since Geminis are ruled by Mercury, and it's in a fellow Mercury-ruled sign, which is Virgo, this is like, my Gemini people, you guys are really going to have to work extra hard, a little bit harder than some other signs this month, as far as communication goes, as far as traveling short distances goes, and like the day-to-day activities that you do, you're going to have to work extra hard. Those emails, text messages, I mean, your phones are probably messing up big time right now. I have some Gemini rising people in my life, and as soon as Mercury went into shadow period, like the beginning to mid-August, that's during the time when I cannot hold a long conversation with my Gemini people on the phone because their phones are cutting out, dropping calls, they're misspelling things and all kinds of typos in their text messages, and you just have to have the patience for that, Gemini. What Mercury retrograde is calling you to do, especially being in the detail-oriented, nitpicky sign of Virgo, is go over the details. Make sure all the details are in place or are realized or are recognized before you jump with communicating. And this also goes with traveling, like even if it's just around your city. Like my sister is a Gemini rising. She's already had flat tire, okay? I mean, just those types of things can pop up for Geminis much more during this time. All it means is you need to make sure that things are working in working order in detail. Check your tires, okay? Make sure that your car is tuned up. Make sure that you're sending those texts and emails to the right people. Make sure that your devices, your phones are protected and that you don't have a cracked screen like I do, okay? Which probably happened during a Mercury retrograde, I don't remember. But those things are more likely to happen to you guys, Gemini, so really, really work extra hard to make sure that everything is working properly and that you are communicating properly. Communication is something that's so key and important to Geminis, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for you guys to get words out during this time. My husband's a Gemini moon, and whenever even Mercury just goes into its shadow period, okay, he's like talking and he's like skipping words in his sentences. It's like a whole other language when Mercury goes retrograde every single time. And I have to ask questions like, you left words out. I'm not really understanding what you're saying. And then he'll say, it's the thing over there. And I'm like, oh my God, everything is the thing when Mercury goes retrograde or in shadow with him. And he's a Gemini moon. So I know with my Gemini people, it's a little more difficult. Gotta work harder, but you can still make it through. Now, for you guys in particular, with Mercury going retrograde in your 4th house, the 4th house is not just home and family. I mean, you can have family members come back and contact you that you haven't heard from in a long time. Maybe some family issues that you haven't fully addressed in the past may come back up for you again. And also the 4th house is your roots, and it's also like memories, memories from childhood and from the past. So a lot of them may be coming back with this retro motion of communication and thought, which is Mercury. Even though my Geminis, just generally speaking about your energy, you're not the most emotional sign, okay? You can be a little bit more emotional with this Virgo energy, especially Mercury retrograde, bringing memories back to you this month. But it can be a positive thing. This can be a great time to go back through old photos, old family photo albums. Maybe get together with family members and reminisce about old times, and just have those talks with them about the good things in the past that you remember. So Mercury retrograde is not such a bad thing. So the energy is going to start shifting a little bit at different points in the month to the sign of Libra, which is your 5th house. So it goes from being focused on the 4th house, home, family, the roots, emotions, to fun, because it rules childlike fun. It rules children, so maybe participating in fun activities with children. It rules hobbies that you have that bring a great joy to your heart. Anything that brings great joy to your heart, Gemini, the 5th house rules that, okay? Because it's associated with the 5th sign on the zodiac wheel, the general zodiac wheel, and that sign is Leo. Leo has to do with childlike fun and all those things of the 5th house, and also the heart chakra. Leo rules the heart. The 5th house rules the heart. That means the heart chakra, okay, which rules joy and fulfillment, and really feeling happy in life. So anything that gets your heart really going and feeling like so happy, and romance that puts those butterflies in your stomach and gives you such joy and excitement, that is the 5th house. So we have Venus there up until the 23rd in the sign of Libra. Venus in the 5th. Let me tell you, Gemini, if you are single and looking for a great time, whatever a great time means for you, Venus in the 5th house is that time, okay, where that will be maximized for you. Going out on dates and flirting, oh my gosh, flirting is a Gemini-like specialty. So this is going to be time when you could be a master of that and really have fun. Jupiter moves into the 5th house in Libra on the 9th. Now, this transit of Jupiter does not just affect you this month, Gemini. It's going to affect you all the way until next year, I believe September of 2017. I know it's in the fall sometime. So Jupiter will be enhancing your creativity, your romantic life, your fun in life. I mean, this is a time where people can get into creative hobbies and turn them into something much more than just a hobby that they do for fun, like casual fun. This is a time where I have seen and experienced people turning a hobby that's fun into like a business venture, for example, into something that you can really make money off of, for example. And this is a time where people can also become very fertile if they are trying to have children, especially in the month of September for you guys right now, okay? This is a fertile time with Venus being in the 5th house, Jupiter expanding that house beginning on the 9th. The sun is going to move there on the 22nd or 23rd of this month as well. So it's really going to be putting a focus and spotlight on the 5th house, which can mean creating children. Okay, so if you're a Gemini that's trying to have kids, this is a time that's very favorable for you. If you are not trying to have kids, Gemini, this is a time where you need to protect yourself. You know what I'm talking about. So Venus is going to move into the sign of Scorpio on the 23rd. This is your 6th house of health and of work and of the work duties that you do, your work environment, and the daily regimes that you have to take care of yourself and take care of your environment around you. Okay, so Venus is very favorable here. Well, it has its good and bad. I'll explain both. Let's start with the good. The good is You can have yourself being looked at in a more positive light in the work environment, in the workplace with Venus here. You can also have a new, because Venus represents the feminine, you can have a new female feminine person, or maybe a Venus ruled person like a Libra or a Taurus come into your work environment and really give you some help and make it a more pleasant work environment for you. If you're a Gemini that owns your own business, which, when the energy was in your 5th house, that's also a house of like, if you built a business from scratch and it's your own that you created, that's the 5th house. So then when Venus moves into your 6th, this can give a boost to your business as far as maybe more money or maybe just more work, more clients, and it can be like a smoother, easier energy as well. As far as health goes with Venus being there, well, there's a couple things. There's good and bad that can happen. The good thing is it can help you to get into a routine that can enhance like your appearance and your beauty. The bad thing is, since the 6th house is all about routines and daily things that you do repetitively and habits that you have, and Venus represents like what you enjoy that pleases the 5 senses. That can include foods, really sweet, sugary, rich foods. You can get into bad habits with those types of foods, okay? Which means repeating, eating, and consuming them on a daily basis. So be careful of those bad habits with Venus there. But definitely use the time to use the energy to really enhance your beauty and your health and feeling good, and to really make some really good changes in your work environment. Maybe decorate your desk a little bit more to make it feel like more of a happier place. If you're a cubicle working Gemini, let me tell you, I work in a cubicle as my 9 to 5. It's not a very fun and happy place all the time. But this is the time where you can make it that, like use some feng shui, look up some feng shui techniques to beautify your little cubicle in your workspace, so that does feel like a more happy, enjoyable place to be while you're making that money, Gemini. All right, let's take a second to talk about Mars. Okay, Mars has been in the sign of Sagittarius for a while, in and out of Sagittarius since, the spring of this year. And for you guys, that's your opposite sign, which is Sagittarius. It rules your 7th house of relationships, relating one-on-one to other people. So it doesn't always mean romantic relationships. It can also mean business partnerships and just getting along with others in general, okay? So some of my Geminis, you guys could have been having a very feisty year this year, okay? Having people come at you or come for you, like that's the term now, okay? Which is like really coming after you with whatever you say. People can really take it to heart and really take it as something negative and really like come after you, challenge you, or you may have even gotten into some fights this year, Gemini, more than usual. That can, who the hell? Since Mars is a very, it can be a very like aggressive and combative energy. And my hair was looking stupid, sorry about that. But you could have had a lot of like disagreements within relationships, relationship with your significant other. And it could have been a very challenging and trying time for you guys, especially because Saturn, the planet of hard work and discipline, has been also in Sagittarius and continues to be there for the next couple of years, actually. And it's kind of, this energy could kind of put like a damper on your relationships. It could have brought a lot of strife, a lot of hard times, a lot of challenges that you guys had to work out together and work through together. So a lot of testing times this year, Gemini, with your relationships. I mean, it could have been the outcome. It depends on you. It depends on your partner. It depends on the rest of your chart. And a lot of other factors. But to look at this in a positive light, this could have been a time where you guys overcame things together to make your relationship a lot more stronger. Okay, so this is what that could have been bringing for you guys. Now, Mars continues to be in Sag this month, all the way until the end. The beginning of the month, the first couple of weeks, it's making a square aspect to Neptune. Now, a square is a challenge. Great, more challenges, right? With my relationships here. I know, Gemini, I know. But Neptune is hanging out in the sign of Pisces, which is your 10th house of career. It's also your place of authority in the world. So with Neptune being a little bit of like a confusion energy, it's like doesn't always know which way to go. It goes with the flow, but then it's like, I'm going to go this way. Then someone can persuade it to go another way and then another way. So it's never steady and stable. And then Mars, it's like it just wants to go for its target, point its arrow at something and go. There can be some challenges there within your relationships when it comes to who is in the position of authority within the relationship. Okay, there's some confusion there. Who's in charge? Who wears the pants in the relationship? That old saying, right? Or this can be that maybe you want to make some moves in your relationship towards taking it to the next level because the 10th house is also the house of status. That can mean your relationship status that the public knows you as, whether that's married, engaged, divorced, you know, or committed. I mean, or it's complicated, like those social media statuses. I mean, there can be some confusion there that you guys are going to have a challenge with right now with Mars and Neptune square. But Saturn there, Saturn is going to be challenging this as well to become more solid, okay? More solid with your status. So this is something the first 2 weeks you're going to have some more conflict with, some more confusion to clear up. Mars is going to finish its run through Sagittarius on the 27th, okay? Then it moves into the sign of Capricorn, which is your 8th house. Now, Mars in the 8th house, I will speak a little bit more about it in detail when we do your October horoscopes because it'll be there more in October than September. But Mars in the 8th is a time to really work on some things as far as intimacy with your partner and also your joint finances. You guys may have a conflictual energy there as far as joint finances, so just prepare yourself for that. Try to avoid like the conflicts and really try to use that Mars energy of persistence and determination to come together when it comes to your joint finances, gathering in more resources and really like working together to accumulate more between the two of you. So like I said, that's something we'll speak more about in October next month, so stay tuned. On the 13th, the Sun will come in conjunction with Mercury. This is, you know, back to talking about your 4th house. So the Sun and Mercury together, it's kind of a very busybody energy, which you guys are familiar with because you're ruled by Mercury. So this is a time around the 13th where you guys may be a little more like busy and chatty, and you may have some things come up within your household that you need to really manage and organize. And Mercury's retrograde, so it is going to be a little bit more of a challenge. But the Sun energy will help to give you more of a boost of vitality with handling those issues. On the 18th, we have Venus in your 5th house making an opposition to Uranus in your 11th house. Okay, so what this means for you is Venus represents relationships and love. The 5th house, romance, dating, casually, someone, you know, having a great time, and no strings attached a lot of times is the 5th house. And then the 11th house is friendships and groups. Now, what can happen is Venus opposing Uranus. Uranus is an energy of shock, okay, and things happening all of a sudden, unexpectedly out of the blue. With it being in your house of friendship, you can unexpectedly have a friendship blossom into a romance. You can have a fling with a friend that's like totally unexpected, like, I didn't think I was attracted to this friend of mine, but now all of a sudden they're looking good. And one day we just hook up, and then it's like, whoa, what happened here? Like, I thought we were just friends. How did this happen? So this is around the 18th that this energy is like at its most potent and strongest. But it can be also that you all of a sudden find a romantic encounter amongst like a group of people. Maybe a like-minded group of people that you're involved in on social media. Maybe you find a romance on social media that you were not expecting, you know. So this is around the 18th that Venus and Uranus are in opposition to one another. On the 26th, the Sun and Jupiter will come together in the sign of Libra in your 5th house in a conjunction. So the Sun and Jupiter together is a very happy-go-lucky type of energy. It can be also an energy of excess, just warning you of that. Overdoing it with things, with you know, really indulging in things like food and drink and gambling, especially with the 5th house energy into play. The 5th house is one of the houses that rules gambling for leisure and speculation. So you can have a tendency to overdo it around the 26th, Gemini, so just watch yourself with that. Or maybe even like, you know, dating around a lot to where it becomes something that's negative for your reputation. You know what I'm saying. People labeling you a thought or any of those like new slang terms, and I'm old and old school, so I don't really know all of them, but having a bad rep for spreading yourself around too much casually, you know, and overdoing it with the dating. Okay, so watch yourself with that around the 26th. But if you are into having a good time innocently, okay, and just really enjoying life, the Sun and Jupiter together around the 26th is really going to enhance the quality of life around that time. You could be feeling a little bit more like, oh, I'm so grateful, I'm so blessed, life is grand. You know, that's the feeling that it can give you. And also, if you're trying to conceive a child, the Sun and Jupiter together can enhance that as well. You know, around the 26th can be a very fertile time for you. So overall, Sun and Jupiter, 26th of September is the time to have a lot of fun and enjoyment and excitement in your life. All right, now let's get into the moon transits. So every month there's a new moon and full moon. This month, though, is like super duper intense with the moons, okay? Because we start right off the bat on the 1st of September with a new moon eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. It's in the sign of Virgo. This is in your 4th house of home and family. So something brand new, a brand new beginning with home and family life that can last up to 6 months. It can be that something happens on that day that changes the life of your family, like for a long period of time. Or it can be it just triggers something that initiates a change in your family life that doesn't really show up until sometime within the next 6 months. So home and family life, definitely big changes on the horizon for you. So this new moon is in conjunction with the North Node. The North Node is not a planet. It's not even a physical celestial body. It's a point that's calculated in astrology. It's associated with the moon. But whatever it is, it accelerates it. And since it's north, it's like it accelerates things up, right? So the sun and moon in conjunction with the North Node in your 4th house, this can help to accelerate and give a boost to that area of life, which is home and family for you. So if you're trying to sell a home, buy a home, enhance, your family life, your family unit, something can definitely be accelerated during that time, during this new moon solar eclipse. This is in opposition to Neptune, okay? And Neptune it can cause deception and confusion at times, kind of put a fog amongst things. So things may not be totally clear with whatever decision that you make as far as, home and family life around the new moon on September 1st. So I would say to make sure, and especially with your ruling planet Mercury being in retrograde at the same time, don't get too overly excited and leap without looking and without reading all of the fine print and noticing all details, Gemini, okay? When it comes to buying a home or selling or moving, make sure you have everything, you know everything, and everything is so clear and detailed for you before making those decisions. So the full moon eclipse is in the opposite house for you. It's on the 16th of September. It's in the sign of Pisces. It's at 24 degrees Pisces. It's in a conjunction with Chiron. Chiron is nicknamed the wounded healer. It's an asteroid, okay? And what this brings for you, it can bring, some hurt and some pain, but you learn a lesson from it. Or it can be some painful things from the past that you suffered through, but you have an opportunity to help other people to heal through it or to get through it. So this is in the sign of Pisces, which is very sensitive as well. Full moons are very sensitive times as well. So this is in regards to home and family, parental figures, your social standing in the world. This also makes a square aspect to Mars in the 8th house. So let's do the astrological math here. We have the 10th house of career, social status, parental figures. We have the sun in the opposite end, which is home, family, the roots, the emotional well-being. Then we have Mars in the house of joint finances, inheritances, supplemental income, and also codependency issues as well. So there can be something that is brought to a final decision, to a head, to a close, with your position in your family life, with your parental figures. Maybe they may need some help and support. Maybe your family, maybe you have a final decision that's being made about career, and it affects your family life, and it affects, money that you may get from the government or supplementary income. Maybe it is that you get this new position, this new career, and your family is still trying to drag you down and borrow money from you, or you owe them money or they owe you money, and there can be some conflicts that need to be resolved around this, okay? So these are all things circulating around this eclipse, but there is an opportunity to heal things. So this one's in Libra, 8 degrees Libra. It's in a close conjunction with Jupiter. It's in your 5th house. So here's more energy of the 5th house being boosted. I can see a lot of Geminis getting pregnant this month, or if you're a man, getting someone pregnant this month. So, like I said, watch yourself if you're not trying to make that happen. If you're not trying to enhance your family, expand it, or, have a kid, really, really watch that. But if you are, this is a favorable time in the month of September, okay? But this new moon can bring a new beginning in regards to the children that you already have, if you do have some. In regards to a romance, a budding romance can be enhanced at this time. The good times that you have in general with life, enjoying life, can be enhanced with this new moon. The new moon is going to set the tone for October, okay? This could be a new romance that comes into your life. I just see a lot of new romance happening for Gemini in general in the month of September. So this new moon is going to really help to bring more of that into your life as well. If you're already in a relationship that's established, there's been some rough and tough energy that's been going on in your 7th house with Mars and Saturn there, bringing a lot of challenges. However, this month with the 5th house activated, if you're in a relationship already, it can help to bring that spark back in your romantic life with your relationship. So if you're a Gemini that's had a relationship with all these challenges or it's gone kind of stale, September is a month where you have an opportunity to really bring that spark back. Go on some dates. Let me tell you something. Geminis, you guys like duality, right? You guys don't like things to stay stagnant and just stay exactly the same all the time. So what I suggest that you do, if you're in an established relationship, it's gone stale, do something like this. Go out on a date with your partner, but if you guys live together, go separately in separate vehicles, meet that person somewhere, okay? Dress differently, like buy a new outfit, wear a wig if you're a female. I mean, come on now, do something to look different. You guys like change. Really change your look up. Do a surprise date where you got your hair cut or you got your hair colored differently. You're wearing something like totally out of the ordinary, out of the norm, okay? Surprise your significant other by meeting them somewhere. And have a date that's like the first date. Pretend like it's the first date, okay? At least pretend. Ask each other a whole bunch of questions to learn new things about your partner. That's something that can be done this month, you know, to put that spark back. That's just my advice coming from a Venus-ruled, 7th house-ruled person that's all about relationships. So take it or leave it, but this month is a great opportunity for sparks, okay? All right, now, last but not least, I'm going to pull 3 cards for you guys this month. One for the new moon eclipse on the 1st, one for the full moon eclipse on the 16th. The other one is for generally overall for the month of September for my Geminis. What is the message for you guys? These are going to be angel tarot cards, so I will shuffle and be right back with your cards. All right, Gemini, so I pulled some cards for you. The first one is for the new moon eclipse on September 1st, and this is the 8 of water. The message on the card says a desire to move on, the search for something more meaningful and spiritual, emotional growth. Okay, so first of all, look at the figure on the card. Whenever I see this, I see someone looking for a greater opportunity. Since this new moon eclipse is happening in your house of home and family, I feel like some Geminis, they have lived where they are for a long time, and now they feel like it really is time to move on to another place of residence. Look at all the cups behind them. That symbolizes like achievement, or it can symbolize like many years, you know, being in the same spot. The figure on the card is you, and it's kind of shadowy and it's kind of just like floating there. It's a little bit lost, you know, they want to move on. And then there's a light shining down from above the surface, and they're looking at that light like, you know what, I want to go that way. And Geminis, you guys can be, not saying that no Gemini can ever be deeply rooted in the place that they live, but generally speaking about your energy, you are a person that likes to move around a lot and have a lot of variety, okay? So this can mean with your home, you're kind of bored with where you live, and you're looking at like a new home, maybe selling your home so that you can move on, maybe letting go of some past memories that have to do with the family as well, because the 4th house does deal with family life as well as your physical home that you live in. So this can be moving on from some old family patterns, from some old family pain. That is definitely possible with this new moon eclipse. So for the full moon eclipse in Pisces, it happens on the 16th, I pulled the 6 of water, another water card, another emotional card. And this one says, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, romanticizing the past. So here is another card about your past. This full moon eclipse is the sun in your fourth house of home and family, and then the moon is in your 10th house of career. So that's where the tug of war is for you guys with this eclipse. And so you can be really trying to move on as far as career advancement, but there's something that may be holding you back as far as family life, as far as your childhood and the past, especially because Mercury is retrograde this whole entire month in your fourth house of home and family. This definitely makes a lot of sense for you as well. So with Pisces being opposite of Mercury retrograde and the sun in your fourth house of home and family, and then Pisces moon is in conjunction with Chiron, that is healing and letting go. So here's more healing and letting go of the past when it comes to do with family, childhood, your emotional well-being, any emotional abuse, any emotional discomfort, any emotional experiences that you've had that have been unfavorable, letting go of them. That's going to be very important for you to move on within career, believe it or not, because your emotions, which is the moon, are on career and moving ahead and like staking your claim with your place in this world. But you can't do that if you keep dwelling back in the past, Gemini. Gemini, generally speaking about your energy, you are a sign that can move on pretty quickly from things and don't dwell emotionally with, issues and things like that. But it's not like you guys never feel anything. So this can be a time of year where you are experiencing a lot of feelings, okay? But this full moon is a time to heal and let go. You see the boy, he's looking down at all these empty cups down there. And his head is above the surface and he's looking down below the water of where he used to be. And I can't really tell the look on his face from here. But I know he's looking back a lot. So there's a lot of retrospect, a lot of introspect going on for you. But you have to heal from it if you want to advance. Excuse me. If you want to advance in career and, be a successful person. Now, overall for the month of September, there are 2 cards that came out. I only meant to pull 1, but 2 came out, so that's a good thing. And they are both Earth cards. Hallelujah, Gemini. You got all this emotional water stuff going on. But overall, for the month of September, there are opportunities for you to advance when it comes to your coins, your finances, because Earth cards are all about stability within the material world. So first we've got the 8 of Earth. Okay, and 8 cards are usually about financial power. And the message on the card says, skilled work is rewarded, learning all there is to know about a topic, going back to school. So Gemini, you guys are ruled by Mercury, and you guys are the sign that likes to acquire lots of knowledge, lots of little bits and pieces of information, okay? Now you got Venus entering your 6th house at the end of the month of the workplace, and Venus is a very material type of energy. So if you've got this material wealth energy entering your house of work, this can be a time where you can be rewarded, maybe with a raise for the hard work that you do. But this card, since this fairy on here is reading a lot and really focused, the energy of Scorpio is like super laser focused, okay? And Scorpio is the 8th sign on the zodiac wheel. And so this 8 card has a scorpionic feel to it. Not like major Scorpio issues, but that laser focus that they have to really dive into a subject or whatever it is that they're into. They're passionate about it. They're obsessed, So with this affecting, I would say like overall for this month, stay focused. You got all this emotional stuff, Gemini. But I think if you stay focused on your work and your purpose in life, and maybe, literally dive into some books or dive into learning something new, that always distracts you guys from being like too caught up and dwelling on stuff. Definitely do that this month. And also, we've got the 3 of Earth. And it says the power of creativity, recognition for very high quality work, be a team player. So this also goes along with Venus in your house of work. And there is like a huge butterfly, huge, beautiful butterfly. And there's a fairy that is on top of it. And what exactly is she doing? It's like she's working on something or fixing something. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm looking through my iPad screen and it's a little blurry. But anyway, there's a lot of lush, like the earth cards have a lot of lush green around them. Okay. And to me, that symbolizes like financial abundance. But anyway, yeah, there's several fairies here and they're working with this butterfly. And oh, okay. They're working with the butterfly. Sorry, I'm doing this like very impromptu. I'm doing this on the spot. So anyway, abundance can come to you with being creative. Get creative with your work. Now, this full moon that happens this month is in Pisces, a sign of creativity. In your 10th house of career, okay? Career. So, be creative this month and continue to perform. That's what this card says. Training, reading, learning, focusing on work. You better work this month, Gemini, okay? Try not to drown in emotion. Keep up on your work. Balance out work and family life and career, and the rewards will come to you. And if the rewards come to you financially, that could help you out with your home and family situation as well. So this is overall for the month of September, your messages from the Angel Tarot deck. All right, Gemini, so that was your monthly forecast for September. I'm sorry it was a little long, but I had so much to tell you guys, so much important information. So I really hope it was helpful and insightful. I hope you guys have a great month. Don't forget to subscribe to see your forecast from me every single month. And don't forget to contact me if you want a reading. The information to order is down below, okay? Have an excellent month. Have fun this month. Take care. I'll see you in October. Peace.